bank heist, which makes him royalty in this zip code. A few coveted photographs and a yellowed newspaper clipping confirm his provenance. Evan, on the other hand, is without the benefit of a rousing lineage. He simply appeared like something mythical. Moses in a basket of pitch-darkened bulrushes, Athena springing fully formed from the brow of Zeus. From various social workers, he'd gleaned only the barest facts about his origin. That his birth mother had traveled from out of state to turn him over for adoption in Maryland when he was 6 days old. That his first adoptive mother had been debilitated by a series of strokes she'd kept secret, right up until she and her overwhelmed husband had dropped Evan back into the system. Since Evan's birth mother had retained the right to select the adoptive family, his fate was frozen while social services tried to locate her. But young women who travel out of state to relinquish newborns don't want to be identified, let alone found. By the time the bureaucracy had unsnarled itself sufficiently to declare him abandoned, he'd knocked around a series of homes. Even by the time he was 4 years old, his face had grown guarded, no longer a blank slate upon which a couple could project their dreams. He had a whiff of inferiority about him, another kid fit for the damaged goods bin. Papa Z's group home is the latest stop on the merry-go-round. 5 to 15 kids on perennial rotation, graduating to trade school or jail or jobs involving wrenches and name-patch coveralls. The choices are few, the outcomes predetermined, the tracks laid pointing to a dismal future. That is what is so intriguing about the mystery man and his gold watch, no matter how awful his intentions may be. He does not belong to this world, to these city blocks. He represents not just a new brand of danger, but a new road to a new place. And any route out of East Baltimore is a good one. Van Sciver says, I talked to Eddie in Paco's garage, who talked to his cousin, who said the mystery man takes kids and turns them into something. Turns them into something. But what? The only point of reference Evan has for this comes from the Army recruiting office across from the arcade in the mall. In between rounds checking the video game change slots for forgotten quarters, he and Tyrell watched the slouchy teenagers go through that glass door bearing the decal of the American flag. They always come out a little straighter. They come out men. Ramon's voice cuts through Evan's reverie. Turns them into sex-slave dick-suckers, he says, and a few kids risk Snickers. But Van Sciver continues undeterred. Eddie's cousin? He said he knew a guy came up in a West Side home. New beginnings? And that guy said the mystery man picked another kid, the best kid out of the group. The tallest, the fastest, the strongest. And that kid? One day, he just vanished. He draws out the pause, the boys huddling closer, still breathing audibly from their dash across the street. Now it's no longer a story, but an urban legend. A campfire ghost story, and somehow that makes it more real. Evan senses some dark truth in the spaces between the lies. Van Sciver has let the cliffhanger linger long enough. Conspiratorially, he looks left, right, then back at the group. 4 years later, he came back. For a day. A block or two over, a car is blaring Run DMC with the bass cranked up high. The sound fades. Tyrell's sneaker scrapes the asphalt as he leans in even closer. And? He was built, Van Sciver says. Muscles like this. And badass. Had a scar across his cheek. And a Porsche. The details are delicious. Tantalizing. Evan's stomach pitches with excitement, as if he's in roller coaster freefall. A wino shuffles by tangentially, and Van Sciver shoots him a hostile glare. Get the fuck out of here, Horace. Back to his captive crowd. This guy? He said he went to a house. Best house ever. A real home. Hot meals 3 times a day and Nintendo and a pool. You get your own room. Said they trained him. To do what? Evan asks. Van Sciver has to look down to meet his eyes. No one knows. 2. Serious business. $65 motherfucking dollars.